Well, good afternoon. It's another great day here on Soulful. Welcome to our Girl Chat series. Join us.
Hi, and welcome to Soulful.
Hello, lovely viewers. How is
Hello.
everyone doing today? I hope you're having a great Tuesday. I'm Janet.
I'm Nakia.
Toya.
Toya was laughing. Toya, what was you laughing at?
Yo, so that's the new intro,
That's the
guys.
new intro.
That's the new intro. Would love just to hear what you guys think. I thought it was fun. I like the little voiceover thingy the kid does at the beginning. And it's the guys the poom pooms.
Nakia got talents. Yes,
Yes, she
that was
does.
very nice. It was very nice. Well, today
True,
is
true, true.
another edition of Soul. But today we're having some girl chat. We're just going to be discussing some things that have come up within the last week in regards to entertainment, culture, government. We have a lovely young lady by the name of Courtney Omega who will be dropping in to possibly give her sense and opinions and comments in regard to what we're talking about. But let's start off with what are we working on? Nakia, what you working on this week?
I am working on KPIs. I have monthly reports due at work because it's the end of the month. So I'm making sure all the reports are done, and in order for my staff meeting on Monday.
Ah, Toya, what you working on?
Oh, I was muted. Okay, sorry guys. All right, so we have an event that we're doing this Friday. So we were kind of collectively working on that, at making sure we had the assets, making sure that the live links were set up, and just going over the assets to make sure that we're ready for Friday. Yes. And you, sis?
Well, I'm working on a little bit of, not a little bit, a whole lot of catch up. Because I had a client event this weekend that took me out of town, so I didn't return until yesterday. So today I'm playing catch up with reading emails, in addition to working with Toya on the event that we're getting ready for. I was gonna tell Houdini to be quiet, but sometimes
Nice.
I notice nothing. You let him go. Yes, yes, yes. So our first topic of girl chat
So
today, go ahead, Toya.
I was wondering who took care of Birdie while you were gone.
All you
Oh,
gotta
my
do is put
daughter
some
did.
water and some feed there. Oh, the daughter came over and did it. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I
Because I'm like, who talks to the bird? I mean, you just leave him there by his own self in the dark? I'm confused.
I mean, his blind was open, so he had sunlight during the daytime and dark during
Okay.
the night. And his food was there, and he had his water. And then Katera came over and replenished his water. But yeah, nobody talked to him. I mean, he talks to himself. I mean, he might have been a little lonely because he ain't hear no voices. But see, there you go. You good? You good?
Okay, I'm just making sure the bird was getting some love while you was out gallivanting. You was working while you was out working and partying, working. I just making sure the bird was
Thank
good,
you. This
sis.
wasn't gallivanting. I mean, I did gala and I did vent, but I wasn't gallivanting. But
I'm about
anyhow,
to say I saw those Instagram pictures.
No,
I
and the
saw the
Facebook.
Instagram pictures.
I saw somebody turned up and turned down, turned over and bent over. And I was like, "Wait, is that my sister?" No, it wasn't her. Not
It
in that
wasn't her,
picture.
but she was there.
no.
She was there. I'm just saying.
Well. Good thing I was there. Just good thing I was there. All right. So one of our conversations that we wanted to talk about is definitely the change in the Oscars. Oh my God, who watched the Oscars last night? I mean
I
Sunday
did.
night. Did anybody?
I did. I just read an
Well,
article that said the Oscars were the lowest watched and rated which I don't understand because it was actually good. I don't usually watch the Oscars. I usually watch the pre-show so I can see what everybody got on. But other than that, I don't watch. But I mean, Regina King did an excellent job. Lovell, or whatever his name was, Lorel, he did a great job of keeping the audience hype and everything. I thought it was wonderful. They should do that more often.
I mean, the kid, we stopped watching the Oscars because the Oscars was so white, right?
Yes, that is
I,
true. That
I
is
mean,
true. But they have tried to do a
Absolutely.
little better. They have tried to do a little better.
okay. So
This
if you
year we were represented. This year we were represented.
okay, so if you enjoyed it, it must have been
So let
hot
me
because I
ask,
know
was
you
the
don't play
Oscars,
all that kind of
was it,
stuff.
was it live or was it virtual?
It was live. They were there in person.
Oh, nice.
It was
So it
nice. It
was
was really
live,
nice.
and then they had Regina. I mean, I think their numbers are low because once again,
People didn't
African
know
American
that it was
people,
going to be.
yeah, they just don't believe in the Oscars for all their years of the way that they've treated us. And from and even a couple years back, there was a big argument of, will they ever have a black host? So I think people just are not gravitated to the Oscars like we are with the Grammys, or what's the other one that gives out awards for things in film? Um, it's on. I
Golden
can't even
Globes.
get it out, but I think they have become a little bit more diverse in culture that we watch them, but with the Oscar we're so prone to knowing that it's truly not for us, that we don't get our just due, that we just don't watch them.
Right. Well, I hope that they learned from this experience and that they got positive feedback. I haven't seen any of the comments, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Now,
What
I'm
was
very.
your favorite act?
I liked the introduction with Regina King. I liked the part where Lorel asked Glenn Close to do the butt for Spike Lee, and she got up and danced. She
That
did
was
the
cute.
butt. I thought that was cute. Um, I thought the little Korean lady, who won the award, her speech was all that, and it was just interesting. I thought it was nice.
Nice.
You know, every time I look at Regina King, I always think about Brenda.
Yeah, two two
Because
seven.
that's, yeah, when she started with 227, and she be holding her books and come and look at the woman that she's come to be, just with her directing. And the one thing that I'm loving, because when you think about Brenda, you thought about this child, but do you see how she's become vocal no matter what she hosts or what she participates in? She is very vocal about whatever topic that she has the
Yes,
platform to talk about. And how
yes,
weird that she chose Oscar to speak about her having a son. And when I mean weird, I don't mean weird as in, but she chose the Oscar to speak about her being a black woman with a black son and watching Derek Chauvin get convicted and how that felt. Now,
yeah,
you think about the Oscars, you think, yeah, Billy Crystal he was kind of more, he would touch the border, but none of the hosts ever went over the border. But to think that she chose this time to use that to say how she felt, that was magnificent.
yes. I thought so too. Because I mean,
Ooh,
it's such a
yeah.
hot topic that people don't want to touch it.
Well,
Yeah.
and go ahead, Toya.
No, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
And in some retrospect, I mean, we if we could just touch on that for a few moments. Um, Me personally, I don't see what the celebration is all about. However, I am glad that he got convicted, but we haven't really won the war to me. We may have won the battle, but the war is still being fought. And that is something that I don't get, what the big hoopla over it is. And excuse me if you feel like I'm being disrespectful to my culture. No, I'm not. I just want so much more for my culture. And I noticed that this is a slight victory, but I'm more concerned about when we'll be truly victorious. That's where my mind is.
Yes, that is true.
You know when we'll be victorious is when we go to
When?
Ghana, when we leave. That's when we'll be
Okay.
respected.
Okay.
Do you not agree? What do you think
You
about that?
right.
You think we'll be treated fairly at any time, at any place living in this country?
You know what? I said that won't happen. I believe that it will happen, but it will have to happen when we decide to continuously work together. You can't just work on this and then 2 months go by, something else happens and we don't work. We have to continuously work together. You see how we continuously work together to get Biden into office? We have to continuously work. Everything that comes to us, we have to continuously work together. Then that's how we will have some victory. But we can't just work on one project and not the other project. And we got to stop thinking that people owe us something. Yes, they have defrauded us for years, but we got to stop thinking that, oh, just because I did this, now you owe me. That's like your children. You know how your children will be like, well, you paid for it the last time. Well, I paid because I felt that I wanted to pay. That don't mean I have to pay for it this time. Now you need to go out there and buy your own books or whatever the situation is. We've got to break this sense of entitlement. Yes, we have been broken. We have been taken from. We have been disrespected. But we got to stop to think that, okay, well, just because Biden is here, he owes us he don't owe us nothing. We got him there with the hopes that he will plant the seeds for better to come. We can't expect him to go in there and do something in 4 years all for us. Now, if he go in there and he don't do nothing, then we've seen his record. You judge according to the next 4 years. But you gave him the chance, and that is the point of it all for me.
I agree.
Yo, I
Yeah.
feel like that in order to have change, we have to be radical. You know, we have to, I mean, my thing is, I mean, how many more people, how many more children, how many more black children are, have to be killed? So with all this crazy stuff that's happening, right? We're doing, the demonstrations, we're doing all this stuff. People are talking. I mean, I think that something crazy has to happen to white people on almost on a mass, or it has to be certain, for there to be actually be change. And I don't like that. I don't like that. But I don't understand what could be happen to make things change. Like really, what can happen that hasn't happened? Do you have an opinion on that?
But I mean, white people. How do I say this? Because if you really look at all the mass terrorism that we have, 99% of it is done by white people. If you really every shooting mass terrorist form occurred by a white person. However, it's just that white people tend to care more about their individual that they shoot about than they care about us. So, yes, you can say that, something drastic has to happen, but something drastic happens to white people all the time. It's just that they choose to handle it differently. Now, when drastic stuff happened to us, African American, we want to fight. And that's the difference. That's how come our drastic is always made, how would you say it? A known. Okay, what was that brother's name? The one that shot up the church and they took him to Burger King. Right. What was his name?
What's his
Floyd.
name? Dylan?
Dylan something.
Dylan
So
something.
because you knew that he was going to be locked away forever, you wanted to comfort him and give him Burger King. But had that been us and said we wanted some Popeyes, we would have probably died not having the Popeyes. They would have probably might have drove by the Popeyes so we could have seen the light on or whatever and kept on going and not stop. So you see their respect and regards for things for them and their children or their ethnicity is totally different for us. But drastic things happen to their ethnicity. It's a proven fact that most people on welfare are Caucasian. Most people that are terrorists are Caucasian. Look how they reacted to how they broke down and got into the White House. Um, I'm calling it the White House, but it's not the White House, the Capitol. But nothing happened to them. What they were allowed their freedom of expression or their dishappiness with the vote. But had that been us, the armed guard, the what's the other one they bring in? Everybody would have been brought in to protect for at least, and the funny thing is our tax dollars would have been paying for it. So it happens to them. It's just how they choose to handle things. It's
I
it's
think
deep when you think about it.
I think it, you can't change people's mindsets. I mean, it's very difficult to change people's minds and hearts, and living in different parts of the country. Just in the states. Living in the South, I lived in the Midwest, so just live in different places. And again, I'm in a rural environment, and when you get to know people, you get to know white people, and they are candid and feel open to talk to you. They start to tell about their families and their great grandfathers or their grandmothers, and how it's that you cannot marry a black man, or you do, like they will be disowned, like we're hated, and so I just like we just dealing with, you have to deal with people's mindsets, and like how do you change somebody's mindset that is so deep rooted, that the hatred, and just because of the color of your skin. And so that's why I feel like I should just get my money right and just go to Ghana, and then I'm good. Ting.
Well, I definitely follow. However, I mean, I wonder, because we experience it here. I wonder
Mhm.
if the races from light skin and dark skin occur over there.
Mm.
Because
Yeah, colorism.
I mean,
Colorism.
that's colorism, but we don't hate. I don't hate you. No, no, we don't hate each other because we're different colors. We just some think they're better because of their complexion, but we ain't trying to shoot them up, kill you because your color, or hate you because of your
that's true.
color.
That's true.
Yeah, but
That's
that's a
true. But
valid.
yeah, just what does that colorism look like in regards to a fight or a battle? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's just a thought. But
Yeah,
all we can do is continue to be genuine who we are as
that's right.
individuals and allow to come out. That's
That's
all I
right.
can say. If you be genuine to yourself and genuine to others, then that's what will excel. Now, when you be
I
fake
totally
and
agree.
fake, then that's where the problem occurs.
Yeah, I feel like we can all make a difference in our communities with the people that we're with. No matter what their color or creed. That's how you make. That's the change when you actually connect with people. But I just feel like that would have to be on such a wide scale done, and everybody ain't. But anyway, but I with you, Janet. That is how we can change. Just be ourselves and being loving and kind, and we can do what we can do, and that's what we do.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
that's all we can do. I mean,
Yeah.
even, okay, so even taking the conversation of being true to yourself, let's go to another topic. Simone
Okay.
Biles and Nike. She left Nike to go to another Ellipsis. Say that word for me, Nakia.
Athletica.
The company.
Athletica.
She chose being true to herself and being a woman and African. Now remember, this is the same young lady that people made fun of when she first came to the forefront because her hair wasn't properly combed. She didn't look right to be participating. They could have made her presentation a little better. And she's chosen now to leave Nike, a multi-million-dollar company, to go over to this company because she wants to represent something that is more of her brand. So once again,
Yeah.
she is being true to herself and true to what she wants. Now, yes, oops, I'm sorry. yes, she's thankful for the journey she had with Nike, but she's done her research and said, oh, this is a better company. This company truly supports me as an athlete, me as an African American, me as a woman, me as in what I want to do and give to others, me as what I want to mentor young youth. I mean, what you all think?
Yeah, I thought it was weird because it happened like a week after Vanessa Bryant chose to end Kobe's endorsement deal. So it's like, what's going on at Nike? You know, Nike is usually the top of the food chain when it comes to endorsements and tennis shoes. So I mean, is their era going to be bygone now?
What she said, what's up with Nike? Like, what they doing over there? Y'all work for Nike before? Anybody work for Nike?
No, but I love
Nah,
Nike. I do love Nike. I grew up with Nike. My father wouldn't buy nothing but Nike.
Like, what? How they treating folks? Like, come on. Like, why don't
Yeah, I
they?
wonder how they're treating folks.
Why won't they make enough shoes and enough sizes and cheering sizes of Kobe shoes? Like, what's up?
Yeah. Well, they lost it now. So
you,
she's patented, she's trademarked some things to do her own brand.
That's right, sis. Do that there. And if you see Nike is scrambling, they're trying to make programming and do all these things so they can be inclusive and all that.
Yeah.
Too late,
there
sugar.
it goes once again about being true to yourself and true to what you believe in. And I mean, it's. I think these times we are just really seeing what companies what are made of and how they are concerned about our dollar, but they also have a disconcern about our dollar. It's definitely something to do. So now with this new company that she is going to make, or this trademark or whatever she set up, will this be under another subsidiary or is this her total brand?
It's under Athletica, so it's a different company.
No, for Vanessa Bryant too.
Oh no, for Vanessa, it's going to be her own brand.
So she just went ahead and started her own company.
Yeah,
Now,
she started her
I
own
wonder
company.
what would be the range in cost for her athletic wear. Will she be more expensive than Nike, or will she be more
I don't think
concerned
anybody could be more
about
expensive
our?
than Nike. I don't think anybody could be more expensive than Nike.
That would be a real test. Well, hello, welcome, Courtney. How you doing today?
Hi. I am very well. It's well
Hi, hi,
sunny
hi.
in
We haven't seen you in a long
Brillianta.
time.
That's the mantra. Don't go through it, glow through it.
That's right. Glow through it. Love it. Awesome, awesome. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I can hear
Okay,
you. It's
cool.
a little delay on my end, but it might be just on my end. It's a little delay.
Okay, cool. Okay, nice. All right, so you've seen the conversation thus far, dear sister. We're so glad you're here because I think we're ready to talk about Dr. Umar.
Yes, let's talk about Dr. Umar.
All right.
Yes,
There he go.
So
yes.
My
I
man.
I watched the whole interview yesterday on the Breakfast Club, and I thought that his interview was thought provoking. I don't agree with everything, but it was definitely thought provoking, and I thought we should discuss it today. So I think we're
I
going to talk.
definitely am looking forward to because
Go ahead.
I'm definitely looking forward to this dialogue and discussion because I like to think of you all as being like the black view. So to and I was only able to. I've only seen highlights from the conversation or the interview. I'm looking forward to seeing the entire interview. It's just that my daughter's birthday was Saturday, and I know Toya's was Sunday. My sister. So we are still in birthday mode. There were things that we were supposed to do this weekend that we still have yet to do. So we're still watching movies. Last night we did pizza. So it's like her birthday from Saturday is being drawn out to the rest of April. So
That's what's
I
up.
haven't had a chance to sit down and watch the interview in its entirety, but I can't wait because I tell you, I already have. Y'all know I'm fasting. I have my little pineapple water and celebrate on chill for that sit down. Because definitely Dr. Umar has a big influence over the decade. Personally, my life and. Even with me having some bad dealings with him years ago, I still say that that does not stop me from advocating and appreciating his efforts and his initiatives. But we did have some bad business dealings. I'm gonna put that out there.
I think
I
that's
think that's
important
important
to
to
state,
state.
Courtney. And also, no one's perfect. There's going to be some goods and some bads, and you take the good, but
Right.
you remember, the bad, but you take the good. You can't negate the good was there or is there.
Of
And
course.
yeah,
You
I feel
take
the
the
same
bitter,
way.
the crickets with the straights.
That's right.
The crickets
The
with the
bitter with the
straights.
sweet. That's right. So Courtney, you probably are more well versed than any of us on Dr. Umar. So tell us a little bit about what you know about him and his position in general.
Well, absolutely. Thank you. And even with me, maybe having a little bit of more of a relationship, so be professionally, Dr. Umar. I want to be clear from my statement. I don't know him. Just that because now when you throw around terms like that, I'll be like, I thought Courtney was abstaining from sex. What you mean she know him? No, I don't know him like that. I don't know him biblically. Y'all know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
coming from Philadelphia, what's interesting is that I literally started to uh, find out more about him literally the when I moved to South Florida, and I'm sorry, the Coconut Grove specifically. And so I was invited to come here to hear him speak at a center in West Palm. And so I wanted to research him a little. And, I was like, well, who is this? And like, why would they invite me to go see this? It was like an educational forum. That's what it was, a forum for educators. And I was invited to hear him speak. And I was just like, well, who is he? So I went and looked him up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's from Philly. I'm from Philly. And started to, that was where my interest in him and his research started. So my first introduction to Dr. Umar was when he had just the website and I believe the Facebook group. And he for the then talking school for boys, and he went very hard against the LBGTQ agenda and the emasculation of our men. And that was something that I held very near and dear because, of course, with being a first time parent to a son, it was refreshing to hear someone speak so boldly about the agenda that targets black boys. And it was also something that my biological who share a birthday with Sister Toya,
Hey.
she also told me about. She said, yes, she said, y'all know I'm surrounded by Taurus queens, but she told me, don't let King go past fourth grade if I was having him in public school. She always said that, and she would tell me this as he was a baby, and so I was like, well, what happens in fourth grade? What happens in fourth grade? And she was just like, oh no, it's just that at that point, in a public school system, he'll get lost in the cracks, and it's like either you're this or you're this, and that's it. And everything is made. That decision is made by the time black men 9, 10 years old. She was like, for girls later, but for those black boys, they have to identify immediately they're going to be some type of rambunctious. They got to know if they're going to need to recommend them for medication. They need to be subdued. They need to be they need to be specified. They need to be organized accordingly. They need to know that with these black men, because the last thing they want to do is get caught up with a black male that is bigger, Okay, that was also another tactic. So it made me very aware of all of these kind of little tactics that were at play in the public school system. So when I got invited to go hear Dr. Umar speak, all of this was kind of on my mind, and I was researching him, and I was like, wow, he's right on with a lot of things that my sister has been saying. And as my sister being a, she was an educator for many years, that was something that was very, very that definitely attracted that appealed even more to me because she was very much to her field with and here's this person saying basically everything that she was saying, but a male. So I went to the event to hear him speak, and it was an incredible engagement. Like I said, it was in West Palm, and I approached him afterwards because he had a book out about that time. It was about the war. It was called "The War Against Our Black Boys," and so I talked with him about his book, and he asked me to organize a speaking event for him in Coconut Grove. Where now, and I said, "Well, I'm in Coconut Grove," and so he said, "Well, I've never been there. Can you organize something for me there?" So I did, and the rest was history. It didn't come to pass, and there was a lot of inconsistencies that were exposed during that time. But like I said, even though the event did not take place, even though the reasons surrounding why the event did not take place were very questionable, I still have followed him in his career, have appreciated his initiative for absolutely prioritizing the family structure, even though he has not been practicing that. The fact that he advocates for that and understands and appreciates that in our culture and in our community, that separation of our families is a huge catalyst for other issues, including homelessness, including poverty, including dropout rates. So this all comes from, stems from single parent households. And this is not a diss to any single parents as right now. I'm a single, I'm a daughter. Um, so it's not how he has and if himself, very strongly about the significance of two-parent households, and then of course he prioritizes empowering black boys, black men, because without that lead for these two-parent households, we again find ourselves in a very dysfunctional state. So that's what I do know of him. Educator, psychologist, has come under a number of times, unfortunately, again from people of our own kinfolk. Unfortunately, I have supported to get his school built as well as opened. Um, and will continue to do so. Like I said, it matters not that I've had personal business, misdealings with him. I do believe that being he is an advocate for not only empowerment, but for our recognizing our power within community and separate the from what we are conditioned to accept.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I have appreciation too for what he brings to the table. It's a different narrative than what is the blanket narrative for black boys, And
Right.
I appreciate that
Correct.
he's a psychologist. I appreciate he has experience in the school system. He's not talking out the side of his neck, and you have to appreciate that. Again, it also reminds me that you cannot put these people on pedestals just like we do with preachers and stuff. These are real people living real lives. They don't do the right thing all the time, but that does not negate, the message God has put in their heart to share, So cool. So okay, so he do got some character
Yes,
issues. It is
I'm a big saying that we cannot do idolatry. No
right.
idolatry,
That's right.
not for
All day.
anybody.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
no idol. You know, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're striving. We should be striving for perfection, especially those that are believers. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, we are still, we were born in sin, and
Nah,
so,
we flashed in the mud.
we all fall short of glory,
That's right.
and
That's
we
right.
all fall short of glory.
That's right.
Some of us fall different ways, but we all fall short of the glory.
That's the truth. We got to help and uplift each other up, not pull each other down. So getting into the subject, the matter, Janet, what it is with Dr. Umar.
It was he thinks that Mr. Biden, President Biden, should do an executive order for Black folks
Is
because
that
he's
right?
done one for the Asians and the LGBTQ community.
So what do y'all think about that?
I I thought the executive orders were just what is the word, ceremonial. I didn't think they really do anything. So am I wrong? When he signs an executive order, what does it do?
Courtney Omega?
Okay, all right. So here's the thing with executive orders. They're only as functional. They are very ceremonial. That's a great term for them. Their representation are of policy. But the thing about executive orders is it's absolute. An executive order is an absolute demand from the president of the United States, right? So as ceremonial as it be, it's like saying, hey, it's like taking $100, all right? And here, you take $100 bill and it's like, good, I know what it is. It represents what it represents. You take a $100 bill to Guam, they like, where your cows? Where's these other things that's supposed to go with? Like, where's this? What makes it substantial? All right, we as a people, as local bodies of government, or as citizens of the U.S., make it substantial. It could be ceremonial and it could be symbolic all at once, but we make it substantial. And to have the president of the United States say that it is an executive order that we are going to be absolutely not allowing certain grants. We're not going to be. I'm not going to be. We're not going to be. We're going to be aware of exclusionary practices that have happened for decades, for centuries. And this is a new standard that we are going to be moving into as a nation in regards to how our Black businesses, Black citizens, and our Black constituents are treated. That means something when it's the president signing that order. Now, it is up to substantiate it, but it still means something. So the fact that what this interesting enough, I used to be at a gym chain when in South Florida, and it was a manager that I had a great relationship with, and he would always give me these pep talks. And he would say, you know what, Courtney, you could be doing so much better if you did this, this, and this. But if you told them you were the manager, right? And I would tell him that only flies until they management's approval. Like, it makes no sense that I'm telling them that I'm a man without it means something to have the manager title there. So this is where the executive order also falls into play with me. Do I think that Joe Biden should create one? Absolutely. But if we're not committed to substantiating it and backing it up and executing it and making sure that we're not doing business with those that are not, then what good is it anyway? So it's a couple of parts to it. I do believe that Dr. Umar is absolutely right. That was one of the highlights that I saw, because he actually, what the highlight that I saw, what he what he made aware, or what he drew attention to, was the fact that even with it being, like you said, ceremonial and just public, he still has done something already for this Asian hate, this Asian already. He's already doing, moving an executive order for the LGBTQ, population. But when it comes to Black people, we're still kind of figuring it out. I've never understood this. We've been figuring this thing out since we got over here on the boat, haven't we? Since we were kidnapped, they've been figuring it out. They just can't figure it out. They just can't figure it out. But with these other populations, with these fix, they're able to say, okay, wait, let's not wait until all of the pieces fall in place. Let's move on these orders, because we cannot stand for the possibility of the outcome. So we're going to get ahead of it. But with us, it always just seems like a real delay. It's always is a hurry up and wait situation. And I absolutely believe that Dr. Umar is right on target when he says that there is not an interest to do so, not at the level of which we serving, we respect our we respect of, but until we move this agenda, which literally has to happen, as I always say, on your local levels. It doesn't matter what's happening on the national. If we're pushing on our local, you can't expect for someone to come in. It's like I tell my children all the time. You can never expect for someone to a guest to come in and treat your house better than you treating it. Okay. So we cannot expect for anybody put into a position of power to care about our culture, our community, and our constituents more than we do. So it really does start at home. No matter what he says, the way it should be written, absolutely. But even if it's put into the point where, even if it is put put into position, it's us to enact upon it. It's
Well, that's empowering. That's right. It's us. It's local level. So I'm being empowered out there, guys. We can evoke change, but we've got to come together, and it starts on the local level. And I totally agree with that, sis, for sure, for sure, for sure. So, Courtney, real quick. I mean, this is your realm. So, what do you do if you're not necessarily political on the local level? What can Toya do today to help?
we are all political on a local level. I tell people, if you have children, if they are in school or in curriculum, then you're political. You are if you go to and you get taxed, it's political. If you've ever called a police officer, law enforcement, you're political. You know, if you live, find out. You know what? One of the most powerful things. A former, he was my campaign director when I was in Miami. He has since moved to Georgia, not here the state, but the country. And so he is working for the president of Georgia now. So I had him as a campaign manager in Miami. But he
Nice.
said the best thing anybody on a local level can do is see what positions are empty, are about to be vacated, because you can run for something. And I mean, there's plenty of things. And you know what? In some states, you don't even have to have a law degree to be a judge. In some states. So find out if that's your case in your state. Could you imagine? Okay, Judge Toya Glenn sound great to me. You want people say we need people in positions that but how many of us talking about, what I mean? How many of us run from jury duty? How many of us put ourselves in positions? Less than 2% by November of this year upcoming. So November 2021, less than 2% of the population would have ever run for office. Run for office. And so when you think about African Americans, and that's 2% of the entire nation. So when you think about African Americans, imagine what that percentage is. Less than 2% of the nation would have run for office, public office. So
Janet, Nakia, y'all running for
imagine,
something?
let's see what's open. I absolutely recommend that. There's a lot of things that are nonpartisan that are open. You know, and nonpartisan, you don't have to declare what party you are, because I'm not in the popular party. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. So nonpartisan elections, you don't even have to have your party declared. Like I said, you might be in a state, or a county rather, that you don't even have to have certain criterias that people just absolutely think are necessary. I was just stating on another panel last week that I always would love this time of the year, because these are the career days. And so I haven't been, so I didn't do, so I have a career day itch this year. I haven't been to any career days this year. But I would love this time of the year, because I would visit the middle schools and the high schools and the elementaries. And no matter what level, people always think the question that everybody hand goes up on, I would say, how many people think you have to have a college degree to run for office? Everybody hands goes up. Like, absolutely, you must, right? You must, right? No, you don't. No, you don't. You know, and in some places you can be as young as 18, and I always say, if you can vote, you can run. If you can vote, you can run. Don't tell me that you're not political. If you vote and you run, if you vote and you're political, if you've ever
Woo!
called law enforcement, you're political. If you pay taxes,
So we
don't
are political.
vote. I had to ask that first when I decided to run. I was going to a CP meeting, and they were handing me all of this literature for, oh, to go and put some doors and go and put some doors. And I said, you know what, I'm thinking about running. And then everybody get quiet. Oh, so I'm good enough to go and be a door knocker and a mailbox stuffer. Actually, that's against the law, y'all. Don't go stuffing nobody's mailbox with your paraphernalia. It has to be mailed. Okay, but I'm good enough to hawk people down and give them somebody else's campaign spiel, but y'all not gonna support me running? Tell you, I was like, that made me sit back and think, and of course, I made a decision to and put my hat in the ring and run for office. But yeah, that really always would blow my mind. Well, that particular conversation meeting, and they were, oh, we need you, da da da. They wanted me phone banking, they wanted me walking the streets and stuffing. But I said, I think I'm considering running for a position in Coconut Grove. And it was like, well, who's in a position? And I named a couple of names, and they were like, oh, they're good people. So, and that's another thing too. We have got to get uh, uh, get away from this whole, only people that have had these positions for years and years are deserving to have them, because
I
death is
love that, Courtney.
undefeated. Death is
That's right.
undefeated. So
That's
we have,
good. That's
you've
good.
got to be, if you're not pouring into the next person, the next generation, to put somebody into those seats, you're working for the power structure, and that should be a red flag. So, unless you're 100% satisfied with the way your school systems are ran, the way traffic's done, the taxes you pay, unless you're 100% satisfied, then I say don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about getting a position, or unless you plan on not living in your particular community for an extensive period of time. But if you're raising your children in these communities, and you have genuine concern about the community, but you won't even put your name on a ballot, our conversations are short. Our
Wow,
conversations
that's
they're real
good. That's
short.
good. Be about it. Be about it. That's right. Thank you, Courtney. That's awesome. Well, well, that was good. I got it. So, guys, where are we? We have a little business chat. Is that where we are, Janet? Oh, you're muted. There you are.
Yeah. Hi, Courtney. Actually, I wanted to ask Courtney a question.
Okay.
So, do you think, because I was mentioning earlier that I feel that in order for us to really be effective, that we have to collectively work together. We can't work together on project A and then we're split on project B and C, and then, oh, we're gonna come together on the one thing about other cultures is if they're united on something, they're united. They're united on A, they're united on B, they don't split and be as diverse as we are. And do you think that could be a reason why political officials don't really respect us to that regard, to say, okay, if I did put in this particular policy, half of them will obey, but half not necessarily obey, but half of them will consider it, and then the other half be like, okay. And then so that's why, because if you go to the Asian community, you can go to, and like here in Atlanta, well, you if you go to certain areas, you gonna see an Asian store, an Asian hairdresser, an Asian this, an Asian that. Now, and their stores are respected and treated with accuracy. And but for us, you might see we don't have like one black store or one black hospital, or we don't have anything of our own that define our areas. So, what do you think about that in retrospect to Dr. Umar?
Such a great question, Janet. And I got to be very honest. I tell you, I came to a point, y'all, about, like I said, about 3 years ago now. I experienced my first ever eviction, and it hurt so bad because, of all, I was holding office at this point in time. I had been in office for only about 6 months, less than a year. So you're telling me that I had enough votes? I had almost $1,000 worth of votes, right? But a thousand votes, not $1,000 worth of votes, 1,000 votes. But I couldn't get up like even 10 people to go to the courthouse with me when because I was trying to, in the midst of me, when I moved in, I was trying to get my home declared historical, and that is actually what, because I was able to challenge, or able to challenge the proceedings for almost 2 years. But I did end up losing the case because this it wasn't something that the owner of the house was bringing forth, because the original owners were deceased. But I couldn't get 10 people from the community to come to that courthouse with me, and that really hurt. And so I absolutely, what was that? Somebody say something? Did I hear something?
No.
I started looking at community differently. I really did. Before that happened, I was like, oh, I was like you said, Janet, I was very optimistic, and I was just like, you know what, this community, put office, and I'm this community, and I'm going to parent teacher conferences. I was doing things like that as elected official. I'm going to parent teacher conferences. If they wanted me to, organize and put something together, I'm putting it together. I was had a little, when they said that they couldn't come to the council meetings. I was putting together little bullets and taking it to the people that said that they couldn't come because they were working and this and that, and I was really going that extra mile. And then when I faced that eviction, and really felt very alone, I was just like, I have to start looking at what is best for my immediate tribe. I can't get into another situation where my children have a place, and I do this now. God, I still had absolutely great, constituents and great colleagues that, um, I was never homeless. I was never homeless, and like I said, and I give so much respect to a brother that wasn't my skin tone, y'all, but absolutely, just made sure that we had a place. It was nothing but a 1 bedroom until I got, my until I got my everything back in order, my money back in order to be able to get, to move into a place that I desired again in Coconut Grove. But for 3 months, I was a resident in Overtown, 1 bedroom. And I tell you, just he just made sure that no harm, ever came. If I needed him to pick up my children from school because I would be working in Overtown, living in Overtown, but my children were still in school in Coconut Grove, and I'm still repping Coconut Grove. Um, so sometimes we do have to realize that we are so conditioned of a people. Unfortunately, y'all, this did not happen overnight. You know, we're such a conditioned people to not help one another, to not reach out, to not support. And I saw this happen when COVID started. I literally saw it with my own eyes, but there were I saw the whole white businesses, Grove, they grouping up immediately in 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of everything supposed to be closing down, they started, hey, do you want me to start selling your product here? Hey, let's hire this delivery service. Hey, how can I help you with this? Hey, I'm gonna, your kids can go here until this fine day because there was no school. So hey, I'll have the kids. We'll do this. We'll do that. They started helping one another. Those black businesses, no communication, and two of them immediately folded. And we have a lot to begin with, but I'm talking about two of them immediately folded. No communication, no wanting to work with one another. Um, just really, really doubtful of this interaction. And this is conditioning, unfortunately. But what happened, Janet, is you know what? John Mayer has a wonderful song called Say What You Need to Say. And it says, even if your faith is broken and and the door, your eyes are closing, do it, uh, do it now with a heart wide open. And I mean, what, to trust your tribe, to find the tribe and to trust again. It's easier said than done, but I always say easiest is done. It may be easier than done, but it's easier done when it's done. Okay, so it does take, sometimes revisiting and that sort of thing, but we have to do it. We have to do it because, um, no man is an island. And even if, like I said, even if it's your own tribe, like I have problems, even as Toy can tell you, even with my own blood family, blood sisters, you know, there's issues there. But if something happens, I gotta be there because that's who God saw fit for me to be blood with. So I can't deny
Mhm.
that. So we've got to have more faith. We got to be committed to doing just that. So I have to I have to go back to that. I have to revert back to that. And I said I know that it sounds cliche. You gotta find a tribe that you tribe with, and like I know these beautiful ladies, they are, and that's what you gotta find your tribe, and you gotta just commit there. Because the thing of it is that the funny thing about children and about youth, they will only do what they see. And if they always see, you know, us not trusting black people, and I've heard people say, and it even makes me feel weird to say it. People say, I can't trust no. They don't say black people though. Y'all know what word they use. And how do you go about everything? Uh, that's what we are. So what are we teaching? But definitely that time has ticked, and this conversations, y'all. Excuse me for being long-winded.
No, well, that's why you're here, sis. You got something to say on this kind of stuff. We appreciate you. We certainly do. Janet, where we at, sis?
All right.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us on another edition of Girl Chat. Just a few quick things, please. If you haven't already signed up to be a part of our VA World Conference, please definitely still purchase your tickets. They are available to purchase at the VAWorldConference.com. So don't forget, that's occurring in just a little over a month. And today, our show was sponsored by, nonetheless, myself, and KSS Solutions. We are here to provide assistance in administrative, social media management, or event logistics to entrepreneurs in the entertainment industry. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week, Tuesday, on the next edition of Soulful. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Courtney. Bye
Before we leave,
bye.
Janet, if you're interested in
Thank
Janet
you all for
services,
having me. Thank you.
yes. If you're interested in Janet services, please go to info@ksssolutions.net. Or you can call her at 404-403-0969. 69? Oh, great, Janet.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
one
never
and
mind.
one
Hold
more
on.
thing we want to share. Shannon, Courtney, tell us really quick about your show that comes on Thursdays.
Absolutely. Well, colored only conversation. That this will be colored conversation. Sorry, it's colored only cafe, which y'all know is my food business. Miss Janet, you better come and see me on a Sunday, sis. Up there at
I just told
857
them
Main
I
Street,
never got my pineapple juice.
Atlanta. You have got
I've
to.
got to.
That's right. So come on over. No fade flow on, but it flows nonstop on Sundays. It is absolutely our signature beverage, and it is life in a jar, honey. Life you can sip. I love it, and it's definitely of course our biggest seller. But this Thursday coming up on my cafe.com, we are going to be having our first colored conversation with none other than King Randall from the Expo Boys School out of Albany, Georgia. I am so excited to have him as a guest, and not only have him as a guest, but he will be in the building with 20 of his students for Claim Malcolm Day, which will on his birthday, on Malcolm's birthday on May 19th, Wednesday, May 19th, at the same location, 2857 Main Street in East Point, Atlanta. And if you have not got your tickets, please do. Thursday, when King Randall comes, will actually mark the last day that the all day passes are for sale. We have two being raffled off for $5. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a full day engagement, conversation, activities for the youth, and of course, y'all, yummy, yummy melanated food, all types of goodness. So, but this conversation coming up Thursday, very much looking forward to the brother. We have been building for a month, and so this is exciting that he is helping me launch this public conversation located on coloredonlycafe.com.
Very, very nice, guys. So make sure you go to coloredonlycafe.com. Thank you, Courtney. All right. So is that it,
Thank
ladies?
you.
There you go, Janet.
Am I? Yeah, that is it. That is it. All right. Thank you, ladies. See you next week. Bye bye. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Hi, and welcome to Soulful.